right, let's talk about it. Andre Onana literally saves Manchester United points with the last kick of the game being saved by him. A goalkeeper has been much maligned recently after a goal which was scored by someone who was much maligned at the club on a night where there was a man who was so loved by the club being celebrated by Manchester United. Welcome back to the Lawrence McKenna channel. If you haven't already hit subscribe, don't feel the need to do it right now. Do it at the end of the video if you like the video. But welcome back. We're making some football content. It's good to have you guys. Let's talk a little bit about what results mean to Manchester United in this time. There are so many things that feel bigger than the club. The death of an icon in Bobby Charlton, and obviously I think any club that loses someone who is so historic in their history deserves a period to grieve, deserves some time to mourn, deserves to celebrate those people at the same time and remember what made their club in that area, in that era and beyond, what was built out the back of that period. Basically Manchester United, like that, what we know in this modern era, what we feel as Manchester United was built on the shoulders of those kinds of people. So I get it, like there was a little gap in between and everything, let's go around the houses, but really institutions are built on those historic kind of, I don't know, rose-tinted glasses, let's look back and be nostalgic type periods. And he is that. So first of all, I think, whether you want to talk about the sale or you want to talk about which players need to leave or any of those things, have a moment just to, because we get I think this is what Manchester United have kind of gotten at the moment. They're very myopic. It's very, let's focus on this thing and make headlines around something that can make us money. It's unusual. I think the fan experience for anyone at a big club is a weird one. You're constantly encouraged to embrace trauma. You're constantly encouraged to basically go, oh, is it really? Yeah, things are bad, aren't they actually, guys? Because you're constantly encouraged to make headlines, to be the headlines. And sometimes when something bigger, like the death of an icon, passes, you kind of take a step back and go, you know what, actually, there's a wider holistic experience here. Doesn't stop it, obviously, meaning something in the moment when Onana saves the penalty. Pretty much all of the reason you're there, but at least half the reason that you're there is for moments like, great wins, great sharing, experiences around the club are what's important, especially in the Champions League for a club like United, right? So I guess I'm just trying to lay the foundation for what comes in the rest of this video, right? And, rest in peace to a club icon. I know how I would feel. I don't know why I get choked up over these things, but as time goes on, I guess the older you get, the more you realize how the people who passed before you really do mean something. And I can relate to understanding what it feels like for elderly people within a club to pass on. A sad moment for everyone in English football, but particularly the clubs and people that he represented. And by all accounts, he was a great man. So I just wanted to take that moment with that. Sorry for taking away from the big headline you probably read for. Let me just break down why the save from Onana and the goal from Maguire and the performances from United and the galvanizing experience at the moment for Erik ten Hag and his men during this sale period for Manchester United are so important. They are a show of intent. They are players digging in, showing their value beyond just the financial. And obviously you can say, oh, well, they bought these people loads of money. Showing their value in key moments, backing the manager, buoying the team, showing that, transitioning away from the previous era of Manchester United, quite a mishmash, strange amalgamation of lots of different people's ideas of teams, and sticking with one manager, Erik ten Hag, who, by all accounts, is someone that Ineos like, is someone that could work well within the structure of what Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to put down. The other point you need to make in this period, why have Manchester United not been good? Well, maybe the rumours swirling around the club of a sale for such a long time, and by the way, on top of that, complete change, therefore players not knowing how long they're going to be at the club, not knowing where their manager's going to be there, all these kind of things, can disrupt. Players can get kind of giddy. What wages could I get? Players can get kind of depressed. Am I off? Is this my last season on brilliant wages? Is this the last time that I get to play for an institution such as Manchester United? And yet, someone who was very consistent in this period and got derided for it in some sections of the media was Erik ten Hag. There were sections of the media during the international break who came for him, who said, this guy, the players don't like. The players don't like that he disrespected Cristiano Ronaldo or Harry Maguire or Sancho or any of these people. And he outlasted that. I can only imagine how it feels to get to an institutional degree and have people deride what it is that you're doing, knowing that on a daily basis you're probably walking into your job and trying to do what you consider to be the best job that you can do. So, to an extent, I have a lot of sympathy, or at least, is it empathy or sympathy for Erik ten Hag? So when you then see performances where Harry Maguire scores the goal, Onana saves the penalty, last-minute penalty given away by someone else that Erik ten Hag wanted to move on in the summer and was probably hamstrung from moving on in the summer by the lack of a sale, by the lack of forward planning that has gone on at times at Manchester United. Not a criticism of whatever owners or whatever, just an observation. And the point is that sticking with Erik ten Hag, watching his coaching methods, watching him having to integrate players who he clearly wanted to move on at some point, but making do, knowing that the process will prevail, is important. So little things, seemingly small things, by the way, a win in the Champions League isn't small, but seemingly small things, such as McTominay giving away the penalty, Onana, Erik ten Hag's man, saving it, and Harry Maguire, someone who's been in conflict with ten Hag, but has then been fielded by him. He's shown him faith. He's put him back out on the pitch. He's tried to reinvigorate him. He's done all the things that he can do as a manager. To then have all of this come full circle and show that during those periods of adversity, it doesn't need to be 100% good or 100% bad, like the media shows. Jim Ratcliffe's going to be terrible. Jim Ratcliffe's going to be fantastic. The Glazers are the worst thing that ever happened. The Glazers are actually not doing that bad. The Qatar would be the only option. The Qataris would be terrible. Like this kind of polarizing headlines, which I understand surround a big club, can be frustrating and can be incredibly annoying as a fan to exist within. You can't find anyone online to go, enjoy this. Enjoy the decadence of being bid on by two people who want to take charge of your club. People are intent on ruining your experience purely for their own headlines, or purely for their channel, or their newspaper, or their whatever it is. I've got the inside track. I know what we're doing because I apparently just happened to get in with the right... By the way, anyone who had the inside track, pure chance they fell in with those people. They were probably the suckers in the situation. They were being used by those people to basically spread propaganda for whatever side it was that they fell into bed with and were then shilling for. Did they have the best interest of the club? Maybe at heart, but the road to hell is paved with good intention. And the good intention that the people had who go, well, I knew all along that this would happen, is that really they're just going back and selectively picking what it is that they said about the club at any one time. My point is the players now at ten Hag have had to show a great deal of mental fortitude in this period, which hasn't yet been applauded, not by some of the Manchester United channels that I watch, and I watch, weirdly, for a Liverpool fan, quite a few Manchester United channels. So to see this evening a lineup which includes Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane, someone else has been derided, Reguilon, someone who is seemingly just passing through the club, McTominay, Anthony, someone else who's going through something at the moment, and I can't pass judgment on whether what that is, Marcus Rashford, someone who at different points people have wanted to let go. Bruno Fernandes, someone who at different points has been questioned as a captain. Andre Onana, someone who's been questioned as a goalkeeper. People questioning, is he really the right man, etc., etc. It's really kind of beyond the point to go, is he the right goalkeeper or the wrong goalkeeper? He's the goalkeeper for Erik ten Hag. And then weirdly, like Amrabat and Diogo Dalot, and maybe Varane, being the only people in the team who've been subject to no criticism, possibly Højlund, but even then people are like, could we not have got Harry Kane? I get it, like, it's a last-minute draw in which, statistically, you put up less XG than the visiting team of Copenhagen. But the eye test is different to the stats test. And this is kind of my point within all of this, right? Like, Manchester United dug in against Copenhagen. They now, in their group, sit, weirdly, in third place. Weirdly, in third place. I think that's the case. Yeah, in third place, behind Galatasaray, and clearly very far behind Bayern. They're not catching Bayern at this point, or at least if they caught Bayern, I'd be very impressed. It is a race now for second place against Galatasaray and Copenhagen. So the win against Copenhagen, which puts them on 3 points rather than just the 1 that they would have had after the previous results in a period of great tumult, are really important. Puts them within touching distance of Galatasaray. Basically, coming into this period, they've got City, Newcastle, Copenhagen, and then they've got to beat Galatasaray after that. It's almost a good thing that they play Copenhagen away again, and then the last game is Bayern. Weirdly, I've got a feeling that it will go down to that game against Bayern and Harry Kane to get Manchester United securing second spot within the group. What have the Glazers done to hamstring Erik ten Hag and the rest of his guys? I've got a video coming out in the coming days about Manchester United pundits, some of which have kind of eaten their own in this period. How I feel about the way people treat Mark Goldbridge and other friends of mine. Friends, they are friends. And what goes on in a time when really people are just scrambling for headlines and views, and I really knew. It's been good to chat to you guys. Congratulations, United. You made it through. There is a bigger narrative than just this win. But Onana getting that, huge. It shows, I mean, it doesn't show probably why they brought him to the club. Any goalkeeper could save a penalty, sure. But it does show why you have a good goalkeeper at your club, why you have people who step up, why you have someone who, by the way, was so consistent in his post-match positivity and mindset that you deserve to have this come full circle. I think it's a show of what Erik ten Hag and his men are capable of, and why Manchester United should be trusting in Erik ten Hag and what his team are capable of. The opposite of that, of course, is that they didn't perform particularly well against Copenhagen. Things could be going better. Could they be doing more with the resources? Do they need to build a base? Is the base really built? Can he really build a base with these players such as Maguire and McTominay still in the team? Should they be empowering more? Let me know in the comments below, and I will chat to you guys again on this channel right here real soon. See you soon. Bye-bye.